Hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today we're doing something a little bit different. And what you're gonna need is a tennis ball or a racquetball, some kind of racket sport ball. I have these balls here that are part of the melt method. This is by Suzanne Hinsel. I'm not gonna say her name right. Anyway, you can look up the melt method. And these are about the size of my, just a large bouncy ball. These are squishy. And then I have a set that are not squishy, and they actually are like a bouncy ball. Same size, but a little bit harder. And then I have these that are just kind of small and very dense, so they can work your feet. I'll show you how to do this. You don't need all three sizes, but it can be very helpful. And if you have any pain, tightness in your hamstring, tightness in your feet, or it's really hard, difficult to walk, this is going to help your feet a lot. And I'll tell you why. The fascia, connective tissue, has bands that start on your feet and go all the way up the back of the leg. And the tightness that you feel sometimes in your hamstring is, I'm going to say it's increased by your fascia, or decreased. So if your fascia is tight, not hydrated very well, you're going to feel a little bit more pain in your feet. And so I do this periodically, maybe 2-3 times a week. Super helpful. I take the first squishy ball. I'm going to do both feet at the same time. You can do one. I'm going to go through this a couple times until you get it. And I'm just going to place the ball right under the arch of the foot. Now, if you have a tennis ball, you're not going to be able to stand on both. You're going to do one at a time. Plus, it's a little bit thicker or bigger. So you may need to steady yourself on a wall or a couch, something to steady yourself. I'm actually not doing that. So I'm walking the ball along the full range of my foot to the ball of the foot, and then inner arch, outer arch, and the back of the heel. I'm just sort of waking up the foot. Now, if you don't have squishy balls like I have, you can take your thumb seated one foot at a time and just press those pressure points right in the center of the foot, and then all around the heel, much like you would do if you're going to a massage therapist. And then I'm going to take these smaller bouncy ball size balls. I'm going to place them right under the arch of the foot. Now this is going to be a little bit more intense. It's a smaller, denser ball. Ooh, and so it's going to really put on some pressure points. So I'm going a little bit ginger, side to side, underneath the mound of the big toe, just the knuckle, and then each knuckle down the line, a row of toes to the outer arch. And I'm putting as much weight as possible. The heel, inner arch, upper inner arch, lower inner arch. And then I'm just going to trace a square again along the foot. So I'm going across the ball of the foot, down one side, the outer sides of the feet, to the heel, center of the heel. I'm going to put a little pressure there, pause, and I'm going to go up the inside edge of the foot. Now, if you don't have the small bouncy balls, you can again just use your thumb. You'll have to be seated and do this one at a time. I just really press hard on those pressure points and rub them out. So right now I'm just putting the ball right under, above the arch, but in the center of the foot. And I'm holding it steady there. Anywhere you feel immense pain, discomfort, that's where you want to pause and just hold the pressure until it dissipates slightly. Now, of course, you don't want to put too much, so be discerning of what too much is. And then I'm going to go around the foot again. And what I should have done at the very beginning was had you take a little litmus test by just placing your hands here, dropping the shoulders, and seeing how far your fingers could go to touch the earth, or if they tangle right here. And then after we do the pressure on the foot, do it again and see if you go a little further. I know for certain I'm going a little further. I'm super tight today. Just waking up early morning, even going twice around the foot. Now I can bring my palm flat to the floor where I wasn't able to before. So definitely getting some action and some lubrication in the fascia, the sole of the foot, and it feels so much better. Okay, so imagine if we could do that all through our body and have this releasing of the fascia or connective tissue so that the muscle is a little more freer to breathe and move. So that's what we're going to do today. If you, and of course, I'll just show modifications. You can also do some sun salutations. Any movement at all is going to help lubricate the joints. I'm going to set these aside, and then we'll pick up a foam roller. See if I've got one in here. I do not. So this is a foam roller that I'm using. It's 6 inches by 3 feet. You can use one of these that's half this size, and you can also use even the smaller foam rollers that are not as round, maybe 3 inches for the 6 inch. So what we're going to do is just start here. Hands forward, the shins on top of the roller, and this does warm you up quite quickly. We use a lot of our stabilizing muscles, core and arms to support the movement. So I'm running the roller along the front of the shin. My arms are stable, hands pressing into the floor, and I'm not moving the shoulders forward and back. I'm moving just the shin. It's really opening up for the part of the leg. Then I'm going to turn the toes one direction, keep the rolling action going. I get more on the outside, inside of the shin, and then of course back to center and do it the opposite direction. Oh, this is one of my favorite things to do. I'm just going to bring it all the way forward. Walk the knees to the floor and then bring the tops of the feet all over the roller. Just press down on the sole of the foot. Extra tender love. Go across the ball of the foot. I'm taking my thumb and pressing outer edge of the foot to the heel. Heel, there, arch, back up to the ball of the foot. So just tracing a square, little by little, inch by inch, rectangle around the foot. Take that aside. To seated on the other opposite side of the roller, and we'll roll the calves. So you can keep the butt on the ground. It's going to be less intense, or you can raise it up. And I highly recommend just bringing a block on either side to lift up. And again, I'm going to keep the arms mainly supportive in the same, not moving them, but they're just stationary. What is moving are my legs. I'm rolling, hips moving forward and back, rolling from behind the knee all the way out to the ankle, calf. You're going to feel a little bit of pressure there. If it's too much, do it one at a time versus both. If it's not enough, cross one ankle over the other so you have a little more pressure, weight bearing, and then roll it. This roller I have is also a medium density. You can buy them in softer or harder densities. This is a medium density. It's when I really like, yeah, let's sit down for a moment, put your roller aside. This whole routine can be done without the roller as well. So you would just be massaging the back of the calf, one hand by, what are you saying? Anyway, going down and back up the calf, and you go each side. Not quite the same, but you're going to get the same effect. We'll take a seat for a moment here. We're waking up from the ground up, from the floor, base, feet, all the way to the crown of the head. We'll be going through this. But let's stretch the spine for a moment in a seated position, up and over to the right, come back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. A little bit of a flow, side to side. Then embellish it a little bit. Take the arms in a big circle. Or even take the torso forward. And then to the other side. Hand over hand. Supportive for the low back. Let's go twice more. When you're really starting to feel into the body, we're getting more marrying the breath and the movement together. Take circumduction, inhaling forward, exhaling back, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Reverse it when you're ready. And go good 4 or 5 times each direction, and then taking it in the opposite direction. Already my legs and feet feel like they're opening up. Notice this when we get into our first down dog, how important it is to warm the body, to hydrate the fascia, and the way that we're doing it this morning is be a routine that you can come back to once a week to keep the hydration and tissue, connective tissue, happy and healthy. Let's move forward. Inhale, exhale. A little cat cow rolling. Wave-like action. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. More. I think today is the 7th of February, so next week when we meet will be the 14th, which is awesome. It'll be milk week. Take this now in twisting action. We're going to go spin it to the right. Inhale the head forward. We're going to keep the spin and just move the head side to side. Wake up the neck. very gentle way, a bit sleep. Inhale forward, exhale back. To release it. Take it to the other side, spin. Inhale, the head comes forward. Exhale, the head comes back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Square. Bring it back. Center. All the way forward. Stretching the arms back. Shoulders, side body. Super long. Wow. We'll come back onto the hands and knees. We're with our roller once again. Now, if you have anything like a rolling pin, you know, something that you roll dough out, you can use that too. So seated, you know, I'm placing the roller here on the floor, and then I'm going to come forward onto the forearms and arm recrawl forward and back. So while releasing fascia on the side of the quad, bent knees or straight legs, you choose. Now for me, this is pretty intense. I think most people are going to feel that the quads are going to be quite tender. And then turn the toes one direction, so we're doing inner outer. Okay. If you've got a spot like I do right here, that's a little bit more tender, I'm just gonna pause here and take it forward and back until I can feel that knot release a little bit. And then I'll come full range and length, and then go to the other side. And if it's too much, you can place the feet on the floor, take some of the weight off, weight bearing off the thigh. Or again, you come into a seated chair and use your rolling pin against the thigh, or even a fist. So whatever the action is, be mindful of what works for you, what works best. This is not going to work the best for everyone. There's a little experimentation. Then I'm going to just flip over the other side. Actually, from here, before I do that, let's sit back again. Madrasana is definitely a little more opening for the quad. I'll put fingertips here and then open through the shoulder. Press through the shin and lift. We're stretching out the muscle and fascia that we just rolled. And we'll take it over the top of the roller. And if you're in a chair, the way to get the hamstring, you think about that. What is the best way to get the hamstring? I would take a small ball and roll one hamstring at a time. So I'm planting the hands as if I'm going to go into a table, a reverse table. Hips are on the block. I'm high on the hamstring, and then I'll go low to the knee, back of the knee, hips moving forward and back. And the arms are stationary. I'm not walking the hand, I'm not moving the arms. The arms really are pullers here. And turning, again, the feet one direction, so I'm getting like inner and outer part of the hamstring. Back to center and turn inner and outer hamstring, other direction. Feet. And roll it. Taking a quick break. One more time. So we've essentially done a good section of the leg. We still have a little bit more to go. What I'm going to do now is just take a downward facing dog and we'll run through some salutation. Up, just step it back into downward dog. All right. Really starting to feel like I'm opening up the muscle and getting past the tightness. Breath in and breath out. Let's walk the hands back to the feet. Lower off to the side for a moment. We'll crank the hips back, bend the knees slightly. We'll take this into a functional forward fold. Then I want to bend way over to the right, bending the right knee and shifting the hips to the right, and then way over to the left. That's really starting to stretch the inner thigh, and I can feel that quite a bit. Let's come all the way up and to the knees and roll slow and gentle to the top of the mat. Inhale, look the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees to get there. Inhale, half lift. Now, I can tell already that my hamstrings are not as tight as they would normally be. We just started out. Let's walk it back. Chaturanga. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, back to downward dog. Few breaths right here. Stretching the low back, stretching the side body, and just feeling calm, collected in your breath. When you're ready, step forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Way to standing. We're going to take one more sun salutation from the stand position. In root the feet, raise the arms overhead. Float forward. Inhale, half lift. Step or jump back. Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. My arms are super uncooperative right now. Exhale, downward facing dog. Oh, now we're going to take the block again, or the roller, sorry. Roller. And go into a high plank. This time I'm going to roll the inner thigh. So I'm going to place my shin and knee across here and bring the forearms to the floor and raise the back knee. So I've got my left toes on the ground, going from the inner groin to the outer knee with the block. It's getting somewhat the inner shin too. And putting as much weight as feels appropriate. Bring my block out, bring my roller out just a tad more. There we go. Really roll that inner thigh, the tip of the knee all the way through. And then if you turn the foot upward, you'll get a different part of the foot, inner thigh. I have my other knee on the ground. My left knee is on the ground. It's supporting the movement. If I raise it, I might have too much pressure. So 3 or 4, and then we're just going to pass that roller over to the other side and do the same thing. And you can see how I'm lifting the right knee and also do this with the knee on the ground. My shoulders and arms are definitely strengthening. I want to keep the lower belly in and support this to be out of your low back. The auxiliary muscles are definitely, or supporting muscles are definitely strengthening through the whole lower sequence. more. Move forward, side, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right leg. Bend the knee, open through the hip, rotate the ankle. Now this one's going to allow you to go just a little bit deeper, a little sooner. We've got the fascia hydrated, moving. Full range of movement through the hip. Let's take the knee, the opposite elbow, and back up, extension. So it's underneath, crossing to left elbow, right elbow, and back up one more, kind of making a figure eight. And then step the right leg all the way through and come into warrior one. To separate the feet slightly, different train tracks, and the arms come straight up. Bow forward on the exhale. Get some movement here as well. Inhale, reach up, exhale, bow forward. And then come into warrior two. We're going to keep our movement pretty basic today so we can concentrate on the fascia with the connective tissue. Inhale, straighten the front leg, exhale, bend. Inhale, straight. Reverse the warrior. Pretty basic things that we've been doing all along. We're not going to add anything crazy. Side angle, I want you to feel the difference. And then into triangle. Our first one, but we did warm up the inner thigh. And maybe this is a little more accessible. So we've done palm roller. Left hand to the floor, right arm to the sky, big circle. Getting into the hip now. Third one, let the hand step all the way back, chaturanga. And just moving through strengthening and lengthening postures today. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, back to downward dog. We'll repeat that sequence on the left side. So the left leg comes up, bend the knee open through the hip, rotating the ankle. Take through the hip. And then let's take it in the figure eight. Reminder to keep the arms strong and stable. They're not bending. It's the torso that's moving. So we're working auxiliary muscles through the core as we come forward and back. The arms are staying straight, not buckling. Steady. And then step all the way through. We're going to make it into warrior one. Make sure you've got a good wide stance. So as you come up, hips are squaring to the front, shoulders squaring to the front, bow forward, exhale, and going a good stretch through the calf. Inhale, exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rainbow the arms. Let's come into warrior two. Exhale. Inhale, straighten the leg. And exhale, bend. Inhale to straight. Exhale, bend. Reverse the warrior. Oh, still some tightness there. We're going to work on those hips next with our foam roller. So if you have your tennis ball, most people will have or either a racket ball or a tennis ball or some kind of a ball that you can be using. Maybe the roller isn't something everybody has in their arsenal. So if you don't have one, then I would definitely use your tennis ball through this whole sequence where we're rolling. Come into triangle pose. Feels a little more refreshing. I'm still pretty tight in the hamstring, inner thigh. 3 breaths. And bring the top hand to the floor. And embrace it. So you lift the back heel and we'll twist. Bring it to a low lunge twist. Full range of motion through the shoulder and arm. Just make big, wide circles. Plant the hand and then step back to downward or chaturanga. That again. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I think I know where you need to work on today. Then let's bring the knee, come back into our plank. We're gonna do this right now, knees to the floor. Bend halfway down and then support that. My arms are shaking this morning, so I'm feeling a pretty good weakness in my arm. I want to just do that 4 more times. Inhale, come forward. Keep the momentum forward, bend the elbows. We're just going to chaturanga practice here. Press back up. And hips to heels, stretching the low back 1 more time, or not 1 more time, 3 more. And pause at the halfway mark. I'm already feeling a little bit more strong, a little more strength. Inhale forward, exhale, bend, pause, press back up, hips to heels. 1 more. Move forward into the plank, exhale, bend, keep the hips high, press back up, downward facing dog. Oh, okay, that's already feeling a little bit better. Swap the feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift, exhale, fold in. Utkatasana, bend the knees, right back in the heels here, and come all the way to standing. We're gonna do a little hop and separate the feet into Malasana, touching the elbows all the way back up. Almost touching the knees with the elbows. We'll touch down. So not quite going to the full squat yet. Press up. Inhale, exhale, elbow tap. And keep the heels on the ground. You're going to be really tempted to push through the knees forward and lift the heels. That's very, very difficult. It's hard on your knees and joint. So don't do it. Only go as far as you can, keeping the heels on the ground. And then right into a Malasana. Okay, keep the heels on the ground. Only go as far as your heels stay on the ground. I have to say that over and over again. Something different. I'm going to bring my roller in, have a seat, take the feet out in front. Oh boy, and then take my right ankle across the left thigh, and now I'm going to roll the hip. I'm just going to take the right knee, and you could have both feet on the ground, just turn the knees a little less intense. I'm going to circle. I want to get the whole right butt cheek all the way to the upper glute and around to the medial glute. Piriformis, as much glute muscle as I can. Like that. Big circle. That's pretty intense. Yes, it is. Pretty intense. So if you have a small tennis ball, you're going to do this with the tennis ball. So you might want to do it against a wall so you don't have all your body weight against that tiny ball. This foam roller definitely has more support than a tiny ball. You're going to feel more pain with the smaller the ball is. And let's release that. Just roll the sacrum out to an upside down table. So bird butt up, upward table. Exhale, hips back to the earth. Cross the opposite ankle. And drop the knees over to the left. Big circle through the hip. Feel your pain. This is not the easiest thing to do, or the most pleasant on your body. But you can see how we become unpliable human beings because we're stuck in the same positions over and over again. Even if you're, a really weekend warrior, an athlete, the things that we work on most, if you're a biker, you probably have some tight areas that your biking creates actually because of the repetitive motion. Oh, it's great to do this once Okay. You can create your own version of them to show you what's possible. Let's release that. I want to shake the arms out. I'm definitely taking a little bit of a beating here. And then I'm going to turn to the side. So we're going to go back to the right side. And keep or step the left foot in front and put as much weight on the left foot as I can. And then reaching the right arm out, my left hand is going to be the stabilizer. And I'm going to roll down the side of the leg. So this is more of the IT band. I don't want to put a whole lot of pressure here, but what I want to feel is those connective points where the tendon moves into that deep fascia type tissue, the band of the IT that keeps our hips in place. And I just want to relieve some of that, those trigger points. So I'm going all the way to the top of the femur bone or even to the top of the hip and back down. Putting as much or a little pressure as is necessary for you to feel something here. It's not hard for me to feel something. Some friends are going to have the foot behind and then they'll just put a lot of pressure or even feet together. It's impossible for me to do that. That's too much pressure for me. So I'm going to take a break, shake my arms out, go to the other side, stay with it. It's going to be worth it. You'll feel like $1,000,000 after. I know this is the hard part. So right foot over the top of the left. I'm turning the whole body on its side and then reaching forward with my left hand to support. It's very far forward. It's almost like I'm doing the side plank here, but I'm resting the hip on the roller, and then we'll go forward and up. Bring my foot behind. Be sure to stay out of your wrist. So a good solid connection into the pad of the fingers. This is going to take a little bit of time. Roll, roll, roll. We come back to center. Maybe we didn't do that side as long. We pull it out, even it out, back to center. Shake the hands. A little rest. 5. In upward table. Stretching the shoulders. And then we're going to extend the leg out, come back onto your side. And we'll take side plank. So right foot comes, or left foot, sorry, over the top. Inhale, reach up and over, and exhale, tap down with the hip. Inhale, stretch, exhale, tap down. Make sure your right hand is far forward from your shoulder, not right underneath. You want to have the ability to push the floor away, support the weight of the body through one hand, one foot. And then we'll roll it back to center. And go to the opposite side. Right foot comes over the top of the left. My left arm is reaching out to the top of the mat. My left foot to the blade. Lift up and over. Exhale down. Again. One more time. And then release it. Shake it out. Well done. Give yourself a hug. We're going to work the shoulders for a second so you can really actually use the roller to sit on or a block. I'm going to take the legs And just cross them here. And we'll take one arm under the other, give itself a nice hug, so you're crossing at the elbows. Eagle arms, they come to the back of the hands together and then a little twisting the forearms. Inhale, raise the elbows, and exhale, lower. Inhale, raise. We're going to come onto our back and do the same action with the arm, but also add the feet. Let's come onto your spine, back. Bring the right knee over the left, and then wrap the legs here. Right arm under, and wrap the arms. Inhale, tap the fingers above the head. On the exhale, bring the knees and the elbows together. Inhale, tap, and if you want to tap the floor with the feet, you can certainly do that full range of motion. And exhale is a little contraction. Call this an ab curl. Inhale, stretch, exhale, contract. One more. I'm just doing 5, not very many. Unwrap the arms, extend them out, and then we'll take the left foot to the floor, right knee go across the left. Press the hands into the hip. And then thread your right hand through the right triangle that you just made. Draw the hip towards you, the knee. Ooh, this is going to be a deep hip stretch. Roll the head side to side. Make sure there's no pressure there. Let's plant the left foot, and we'll take this into a spinal twist. We're finishing out the stretch through the hip. Pigeon is a great option if you wanted to do a seated pigeon. Right now, we're just doing a supine sequence. It stretches the hip. Come back to center, legs to the sky. Cross left knee over right, and we'll make that a twisted root. Left arm under the right. Twisted root with the arms. Reach above the head and tap the floor with the feet. Inhale. Exhale, make a connection, elbow to knee. Curl, ab curl. Inhale. Exhale. Too many of these, maybe 10. Maybe a few left. That's already 3. 4. And if this hurts your neck at all, you can hold the head. Let's go 4 more. 3 more. 2. And last 1. Release the arms. Release the twist of the legs. Tap the right foot to the floor and cross the left ankle. Hands at the crease of the hip and press. And draw the right knee towards the shoulder. Oh, we're getting ready for Shavasana. You're so close. If you want to take that a little bit early, go for it. Make sure that you're always definitely finishing with a Shavasana. And side to side. Just bring the foot to the floor and then make it into a twist. Gently allowing the left foot to land lightly. Turning the head side to side, relaxing the neck and shoulders, making sure we're not building tension. And bring back to center. We'll do a last and final roll along the back side. So help myself up here, place the boat block or the roller right behind the ribs. Now I want to support this. If you've got a bad back, I would skip this rolling. We're gonna roll to the shoulders. We'll hold the head, any ponytails or long hair, keep it out of the way so you don't roll it into the mat. That doesn't feel good. Then we'll roll from the top of the shoulder, neck, all the way down to the floating rib. Sometimes it's super good to me. I'm going mid back, and just getting over. Hearing what I've been feeling. Two more passes, and then again, if you feel any areas that need special attention, I would just focus your attention there and a little more time. And then finally bring the hips to the ground. We're gonna roll all the way up to the neck and let your shoulders rest, hips down, and then roll the head side to side. So I'm getting a little massage across the occipital ridge. Oh, and that feels fantastic. Doing that all day. Now we'll come into our resting pose, Shavasana, final resting pose. A couple ways to do that. I'm going to bring my roller, so my arms are on top of the roller, and then a block behind the head, because that's kind of far from my head to drop. I want it to land lightly. You can turn it any direction that feels good to you. That one, and this is a heart opener. If that's too much for the shoulders, too much for the heart, just come into a regular Shavasana. I'm showing possibility. This is the one. This is one arena or one area. You can possibly stretch in a back bend. My head's back too far a little bit, so I'm gonna prop that up once. That feels better. My shoulders up to my ears. I want them relaxed down, which is kind of hard. The pectoralis muscle is pretty tight today. So just deep breaths. The invitation is inviting the whole body to release and relax. With each breath, you're inviting more relaxation. You're allowing more releasing. You did it, full roller movement today. We did the shins, the whole legs, outer, inner thigh, the outer leg, inner leg, back, hips, and get to the arms. That's always a fun way to go. Just notice how you feel. Rolling elicits a lot of toxicity, or releases some toxicity in the body, because we are actually moving things. Probably need to drink a lot of water today. Super helpful. I would flush it with a wort of warm water and a lemon. A lemon flush. Really healthy for your kidneys to do that once in a while. Maybe 7 days in a row in a month period of time. If that does for you, it helps with the elimination process happen more gracefully. If you have any issue with creating movement in the bowels, I would highly suggest warm lemon water. But maybe a half a teaspoon of Himalayan salt and pink salt. And when you're ready, make the transition to seated posture. Slow and methodical, thought out. You don't want to rush into it. You want to bend the knees and be quite aware of the position of your body, the movement out of and into different postures. Use the transition, needs special care and attention. Find your way to seated. It's all about the release today. Shake it out. Drink lots of water. And if you need an afternoon nap, please build that into it. Maybe a 10 or 20-minute rest on your left side to recuperate and have more energy for the rest of your day. Let's bring the hands together, heart center. Enjoying the beauty of nature. If you're looking outside, the beauty of the body. And beautiful way it moves, honoring the vessel. Thank you so much for participating. Namaste.